Welcome back to Liberty Wolf, episode number 47. My name is Zach Strong, the creator and host of Liberty Wolf. Today's a short video. I want to cover two things very briefly. One, YouTube censorship, and two, a renewed call for a constitutional convention. First, censorship. As you know, recently YouTube has deleted two of my videos, and in the past they deleted another one about Antifa. So that censorship, I guess, is to be expected, right? But yesterday, on my own personal account, not associated with Liberty Wolf, where I have uploaded zero content, they hit me with a warning and deleted two of my playlists. When I got on there, I was completely confused. What was deleted? I have no content, because the message said, your content violates, hate speech regulations. I mean, what are you talking about? Hate speech, first of all. Second of all, I don't have content on my page. So I went on and looked, and there are two playlists that I had, one titled Communism, another titled Hitler, that had been totally deleted. Both had hundreds of videos. These are not my videos. These are videos that YouTube allowed to be uploaded and hosted on their site. Yet they're penalizing me for putting them in one location that's easy to find for myself. Okay, that's a new level of idiocy and censorship. Okay, guys? This just further cements in my mind my decision that I previously said that I'm going to move over to Gab and Gab TV. I already have accounts on Gab, and I'm working on the Gab TV portion right now. So that's all I want to say for that, to just be very, very wary of people who want to censor you. And that dovetails in a good way with what I'm going to say next about a constitutional convention. There are lots of people, conservatives in fact, who are calling for a convention of states or otherwise an outright constitutional convention. I can't think of a single thing more dangerous to the United States of America than a new constitutional convention. I literally can't think of another thing that politically could be done that would be worse than a constitutional convention. I can't think of one. Is there one? If so, say it in the comment section. I can't conceive of one. The Constitution has been as James Madison once said, it's the cement, like the glue, that holds together the Union. There is nothing else holding us together at this point. It's just the Constitution. There are still enough people who honor the Constitution and who love our system of self-rule, rule of law, outlined in the United States Constitution. That's it. It's the Constitution, okay? This document, we the people, okay? We put this in. We ratified it after the wise founding fathers crafted it under, I believe, inspiration from heaven. But regardless of what you believe on that front, this is the longest lasting constitution in world history. It has secured to more people more rights and freedom than any other political system ever has. That's beyond dispute. That's not even close. You can't even make an argument. What the USSR's constitution, the UN Charter, Britain's non-existent constitution. Name one in the whole world that has secured to as many people so many rights, so much opportunity. There's a reason people die trying to get here every year. They don't die trying to get to Britain, not really. I mean, they have a flood of immigration right now brought on by the Marxists in Europe, trying to overload Europe with people who do not fit very well in their system. But it's the same here. We're bringing in uneducated people who don't understand our legacy of constitutional government. They don't understand American principles, Americanism. They don't understand the American heritage of self-rule. And yet they come here by the millions. There are 40 million or so illegal immigrants here, and they're flooding in. Under Biden, they're just pouring through the border. Okay, so the Constitution is the cement that holds the republic together. If we throw that out, what is that going to do to us? What union would we have? I wrote an article a little more than 2 months ago on my website, theamericancitadel.com. The title is, I Will Never Swear Allegiance to a New Government. Period. I won't do it. I will be an outlaw. If that's the point, if that happens, if there's a new government that gets passed, they throw out the Constitution, rewrite it, I will not bow to that. Period. Not going to happen. Because I do not trust the lying psychopaths in Washington, D.C., or in the states to craft another constitution that will defend my rights. It's just not going to happen, guys. Who is going to do it? Donald Trump is going to go in there and represent us. Ron DeSantis. Kristi Noem. This is about the best we've got on our side, at least in terms of public officials. Okay, they're about the best we've got, and they are not up to the task. You got Ron Paul; he's a little aged at this point, but I might trust him. You have his son Rand. He's okay. He's compromised far too much in his career. I really wouldn't trust him. I'd get close to trust him, maybe, to help put together a constitution. Mike Lee, maybe. But these guys are mainstream conservatives. They're not real, true constitutionalists. They're not Jeffersonians. They're not Madisonians. You can't go back to they don't really, truly fit in with the founding fathers' traditions. They give lip service to it, and they're more or less there, but they're not really fully on board. There are very precious few people today that I would trust who are public figures to get there and go to a constitutional convention and help craft a document that's going to secure our liberty. But who are these people? I mean, they're not elected. They're not in government. They would never be sent there. And so people are very deluded about this. I want to quote a few paragraphs here from my article that I just mentioned. Quote, despite the centrality of the Constitution to America's success, even many good conservatives who ostensibly love the Constitution are calling for a new constitutional convention. They call it a convention of states, but don't be fooled, it is a constitutional convention by another name. They are laboring under the delusion that this process would be controlled by them through the states. This is erroneous and nearsighted. 3 years ago, I wrote an article titled Oppose a Convention of States, which I hope you will take the time to read and digest. It explains why a convention of states would murder, not restore, the U.S. Constitution. I don't care if it is conservatives or liberals who finally get enough states to call an Article 5 convention. I would oppose the final product, which could never measure up to the original. Though there are people living today who understand constitutional principles and freedom as well as our founding fathers, they would never be selected for the task of framing a new government. You would never find men like Scott Bradley, Joel Skousen, Michael Badnarik, Arthur R. Thompson, Larry P. Arnn, or Chuck Baldwin called upon to render their expertise. No, instead you would have establishment lackeys and mainstream Republicans and Democrats drafting a new government behind closed doors with no oversight and with total disregard for the will of the American people. We must not allow the Constitution to be mutilated any further, and we must never allow it to be exiled completely. No government has ever secured to as many people as much freedom. Nothing Europe has ever produced has come close, to say nothing of other parts of the darkened world. The only light still shining is here in America. This light comes from the hearts of patriots who understand, love, and defend the Constitution and all just and holy principles that make men free and accountable before God. Go read my article. I will link it below. In fact, both of those articles I mentioned will be linked below. And oppose a convention of states, oppose a constitutional convention. This is madness. We cannot have a constitutional convention. That's suicide. House Resolution 101 and 8419. Those are currently in Congress calling for a constitutional convention. Can you imagine AOC, Chuck Schumer, and those other, Nancy Pelosi and these other people in there today getting their hands on the Constitution to mangle it and be able to rewrite whatever they want and put in all the woke agendas? What would they put in there? What would they secure as rights? That you have a right to an abortion, to murder people? That you have a right to gay marriage? That you have a right to mental illness? They would put all these sorts of things in there, and they would gut other rights, like the right of self-defense, like they have just tried doing in the House they just passed. That monstrosity. bans over 200 different types of weapons. Guys, we cannot allow a constitutional convention or a convention of states to go forward, and we cannot trust that, the conservative states will control it and send good people there. They haven't sent good people to government already. Precious few. So why would they send new ones that know anything now? Oppose it. Stand with the Constitution. Stand with our founding fathers. Stand with good principles of freedom. And that's all I have today. Do the right thing. Sic semper tyrannis, long live liberty.